Hello and welcome to today's Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here. Today, we're unpacking something absolutely fascinating, the psychobiological architecture of success. I mean, think about it. What if we started looking at our brain and our body not just as flesh and bone, but as a highly advanced operating system? It has its own base code, it has antivirus software, and it has automation scripts. And the truly amazing part? When we figure out how this code is actually organized, we can completely transform both our daily output and our mental health.
But right off the bat, we've got to address the elephant in the room. Why is it that our routines always seem to fail? I mean, you know the feeling, right? You set a massive New Year's resolution, you download the newest productivity app, you actually manage to wake up at 5 a.m. for 3 days straight, and then, well, life hits. Overwhelm creeps in, you miss a single day, and suddenly the whole system just crashes. The dishes pile up, the emails flood in, and you're left feeling completely paralyzed. Why does that happen to so many of us? Okay, let's dive into this. To really understand why, we need to look at a pretty staggering statistic. According to research from Duke University, roughly 45% of our daily behaviors run entirely on automatic habit. Almost half of everything you do every single day isn't a conscious choice. It's just a routine running on autopilot in the background. So the question really isn't whether or not you have a routine. It's whether your routine is running a script designed for your success or one that's literally keeping you stuck.
Section 1. The power of self-efficacy. To upgrade our mental operating system, we have to start right at the foundational base code. Psychologist Albert Bandura coined this incredible concept called self-efficacy, which is basically the core belief in your own ability to control your functioning and the events that impact your life. Now, it's really important to separate this from just general self-esteem. Self-esteem is your overall sense of self-worth, right? But self-efficacy, that is highly specific. It's all about your capability in one particular domain. Like, do you genuinely believe you can successfully run a marathon or navigate that incredibly stressful work project? It's the deep conviction that you can actually execute the specific behaviors needed to succeed. So, how do we actually build this confidence? Well, Bandura found 4 primary builders. First up, mastery experiences, literally just doing the thing and succeeding at it. Second is vicarious experiences. This is when you see someone similar to you succeed and it immediately wires your brain to think, hey, I can do that too. Third is social persuasion, getting a solid pep talk or positive feedback from someone you really trust. And fourth, your emotional states. You absolutely have to manage your stress so anxiety doesn't hijack your confidence. By actively seeking these 4 things out, you're literally rewriting your brain's base code for success.
Section 2. Rewiring with cognitive reframing.
So even if you have a rock-solid base code, mental bugs are definitely going to try and infiltrate the system. In cognitive behavioral therapy, these bugs are called cognitive distortions. They're basically systematic errors in our thinking that lead straight to emotional distress, sudden panic, and honestly really poor decision-making. We're talking about automatic negative thoughts. You know the ones. It's that immediate, nagging internal voice that whispers, I am absolutely going to fail this presentation, before you've even grabbed the microphone. If you leave them unchecked, these distortions completely drain your system's battery and totally derail your physical routines.
So the crucial point is how we actually neutralize those mental bugs. We can use a super effective framework called the 3 C's. Catch it, check it, change it. Step 1, you have to catch it. Just notice that sudden wave of anxiety and pinpoint the exact automatic thought causing it. Step 2, check it. Ask yourself, is this thought actually accurate or even helpful? And step 3, change it. Instead of spiraling into, I'm a total failure because I messed up, you actively reframe it. You say, okay, I made an error, but everyone makes mistakes. This is just a chance to learn. That one tiny shift moves your brain away from self-condemnation and straight into a learning-focused mindset, which builds massive emotional resilience.
Section 3. Mastering your emotional engine. All right, once we've handled our thoughts, we need to move outward to emotional regulation, basically managing our daily battery life. And this brings us to the mood meter grid. Imagine this grid breaking our emotional states down into 4 distinct quadrants based on our energy levels and pleasantness. Up in the top right, we've got yellow, high energy and highly pleasant, like pure excitement. Top left is red, high energy but totally unpleasant, think anger or acute anxiety. Down in the bottom left is blue, low energy and unpleasant, like sadness or feeling totally drained. And finally, the bottom right is green, low energy but very pleasant, like feeling completely calm and content. What is so amazing about this is that every single quadrant has a strategic use. Seriously, if you're buzzing in that high energy yellow zone, that is the absolute best time to tackle high impact creative brainstorming. But let's say you're in the low energy blue zone. You definitely shouldn't force yourself to brainstorm. That is just a recipe for total frustration. Instead, use the blue zone for what it's actually good for: quiet reflection and identifying problems. And the green zone? That's your sweet spot for deep, empathetic focus and crucial recovery. When you match your tasks to your current emotional state, you stop fighting your biology and start actually working with it. Section 4. The science of habit stacking. So now that our mindset and our emotions are humming along perfectly, how do we translate all these internal tools into consistent physical actions? We do it through the science of habit stacking. To really get this, we have to look at a wild neurobiological process called synaptic pruning. You can basically think of synaptic pruning as the brain's very own Marie Kondo. It is constantly tidying up your neural pathways, tossing out the weak, unused connections, and aggressively strengthening the ones you use every single day. Things you already do daily, like brushing your teeth or making your morning coffee, they have incredibly thick, robust neural pathways.
Habit stacking just takes total advantage of those existing pathways. Look at the difference here. A vague habit is something like, I will meditate today. Research shows this has a notoriously terrible success rate because it demands way too much willpower to decide exactly when and where you're going to do it. But a habit stack, that is a specific implementation intention. It sounds more like, after I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate. See what happened there? You're taking an old, deeply wired habit, pouring the coffee, and using it as a solid anchor to trigger a brand new habit. Your brain just glides right into the new behavior.
Now, for a new habit stack to actually stick, we have to deal with what Dr. Andrew Huberman calls limbic friction. Limbic friction is basically the activation energy required to overcome anxiety, procrastination, or just sheer fatigue in order to take action. To completely bypass this friction, you have to make your new habit ridiculously small. I mean it. Don't say you're going to meditate for 30 minutes after your coffee. Say you will take exactly 3 deep, conscious breaths. Keeping a new habit under 2 minutes lowers the limbic friction so dramatically that your brain doesn't even try to resist it. As James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, beautifully puts it, habits are mental shortcuts learned from experience. By stacking these tiny 2-minute habits onto our existing routines, we drastically reduce decision fatigue. We literally no longer have to negotiate with ourselves every single morning. The game plan is already decided for us, and our good choices become entirely effortless. Section 5. Designing your daily routine. And this brilliantly illustrates how we actually put all of this together. This timeline shows exactly how high achievers structure their 24-hour cycle to perfectly align with natural biological rhythms. We can basically divide the day into 4 distinct phases. Phase 1 is the launch in the first 90 minutes. Phase 2 is your deep work block right during your morning peak. Phase 3 is the afternoon admin block for when your energy naturally dips. And Phase 4 is the digital sunset, the 90 minutes right before you go to sleep. Let's look a little closer at the bookends of the day because they absolutely set the trajectory for everything else. So Phase 1 is the launch. What does the actual science say we need the second we wake up? We need proactive hydration, some light movement, and this is absolutely crucial, sunlight exposure. When natural light hits your eyes, it travels down a pathway called the retinohypothalamic tract, right into a part of your brain that suppresses melatonin and sets your circadian clock for the whole day. Basically, just open your blinds and step outside so you don't feel like an absolute zombie. Doing this clears out that morning brain fog or sleep inertia and massively lowers the limbic friction for the rest of your morning habits. On the completely opposite end, we have Phase 4, the digital sunset and shutdown ritual. This is all about properly winding down your operating system. Blocking screens at 9 p.m. gives your brain the biological signal to prepare for deep sleep. But honestly, more importantly, doing a quick brain dump, like journaling 3 things you're grateful for and jotting down tomorrow's top 3 priorities, that massively reduces what psychologists call uncertainty anxiety. You end up preserving so much cognitive energy because you don't have to wake up the next morning and frantically wonder what you're supposed to do first. But here is the most important secret to long-term consistency. Look, motivation is fleeting, and bad days are absolutely gonna happen to all of us. When they do, you need what's called a minimum viable routine. This just means doing the absolute smallest possible version of your habit just to keep that neural pathway alive. You can't handle a 45-minute workout today? Fine. Drop down and do 5 push-ups. Can't read a whole chapter? Read literally 1 page. The golden rule is to never skip 2 days in a row. Doing a tiny bit on a bad day completely prevents the total collapse of your success system, because at the end of the day, consistency compounds. Which brings us to our final provocative thought for today's explainer. Take a hard look at the habits filling your 24 hours. Is your daily routine running you on some old, glitchy autopilot? Or are you actively running it, architecting your operating system for absolute success? You have the tools now, from catching those negative thoughts, to stacking 2-minute habits, to leveraging that crucial morning sunlight. The choice of how you write your code starting tomorrow morning is entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me today. I challenge you to build just one tiny new habit stack today. See you next time.